Welcome to another amazing edition of Comet Algebra. This video is for Algebra 1, Chapter 4, Section 2, Properties of Inequalities. And a lot of this section is a review for you. So this addition property, this should remind you a lot of the undoing method. What it's saying is if A is less than B, then we can add the same thing to both sides. Then A plus C is less than B plus C. So in other words, you can add or subtract the same number on both sides just like it's an equal sign. The multiplication property, however, is a little different for inequalities. If you have a positive number, it's no big deal. It's saying here if A is less than B, you can go ahead and multiply the C on both sides, no problem. However, something does happen if you are multiplying both sides by a negative number. If you multiply both sides of this where C is negative, then did you notice what happened right here to the inequality? It reverses. So this is the most important thing to learn for this section right here, is that if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign. So this section really amounts to solving one-step equations with greater than or less than signs. So the level of difficulty isn't too high. Here we're going to solve for x by dividing both sides by 5. And since 5 is positive, we don't have to worry about the sign. We end up with x is less than 7. And then we could graph that on a number line if the directions asked us. But that's your solution. Number 2, again, we're multiplying x times a negative 2, so I need to divide both sides by that negative 2. And right here, remember we joked about this in pre-algebra, like a red flag smacking you upside the head? The red flag meaning when you're dividing both sides by a negative, the inequality has to switch directions. And 12 divided by negative 2 gives us a negative 6. So that is the solution for number 2. Here we have 1/8 times y, and this is a reciprocal problem. So we're going to multiply both sides by 8. And I'm going to write that 8 as 8 over 1 because that helps me see the fraction a little better. So either you can think of this as 8 over 8, which is 1, or if you see that the 8's cancel each other, either way you do get a 1y on this side, and that would be less than 40. Again, no negatives were involved, so we're good. However, here in number 4, we're dividing by negative 3, so I need to multiply this side by negative 3 and this side by negative 3. And when we do that, the old red flag tells us we need to switch the inequality. So negative 3 divided by itself is 1, so I'm left with x over here. The less than flips over to a greater than, and negative 4 times negative 3 is 12. So that's my solution there. And this last example, negative 4/5. Okay, it looks like I have a typo here, and I forgot the x. So let's just put that in there if you don't mind. So it's negative 4/5 times x. It's a reciprocal problem, so I need to multiply this side by negative 5 over 4, if I can sneak that in there. And I'm going to put this over 1 to help me see the fraction, and I need to multiply this side by negative 5 over 4. And again, the red flag, because I'm multiplying both sides by a negative, the inequality has to flip. So on this side, the 5's cancel, and the 4's cancel, and negative times negative is positive. So all we have left is the x. The greater or equal to sign rather flips and becomes less than or equal to. And on this side, negative times negative is positive. So I have 60 divided by 4, which is 15. So that's my answer for example 5. All right, now you have the knowledge you need for section 4.2, so have fun with math.